Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Krisell Valenzuela and I'm a multi-dimensional medium. What is a multi-dimensional medium? I'm glad you asked. Sit tight for a second. I'm going to introduce myself as well as share all of that information, and then we're going to get into some readings. I'm just checking to make sure that everything is working here. Excuse me. And once you join, go ahead and just drop me a emoji or a comment, whatever feels good to you, so I know that you're here. Let's see here. Okay, cool. So it looks like we're live on Twitch. We're live on Facebook. Shh, quiet down. Here we go. All right, so we're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. If you guys are there, drop me a comment so I know you're here. Thanks so much for joining. It feels like ages since the last time I did a live stream through Facebook, through YouTube, and through Twitch. So I'm really excited to be doing this today. I didn't just wake up. I woke up about half an hour ago from a power nap, and I felt absolutely drained after spending the day, not even the day, but like an hour or whatever at the beach, trying to soak up what was left of summer. Hey, Russian party girl, thanks so much for being here. So I'm going to give a quick intro, and then we're going to jump right into readings for the next hour. If you love what I do, I would love for you to join my mailing list so we can stay in touch. My mailing list gets first dibs on any new offerings and any specials that I'm offering on programs or even readings. Right now, I'm doing a special on all my readings, and I'm offering them for $111 for my readings up until the end of this year. Same thing goes for my past life regressions. I do them virtually and in person, and those are $333 until the end of this year. After December 31st, 2021, that price is going to go up significantly. So if it's something that you've been interested in, book your session now. My calendar gets booked up about a month in advance, especially with past life regressions. So right now we're booking for October. I am a multi-dimensional medium, and I mean that in the most literal sense of the word, in that I am a resource, a tool. I am the medium for which energy expresses itself. So I am a medium in the sense that I communicate with spirit. So I do speak with your ancestors, loved ones, and guides. But I'm also a medium in the sense that the work that I do with energy, I am not doing any of it. It's all intuitively guided. And I'm just the channel for it to move through. So that's what I do. My favorite thing to do is to teach people how to be the medium themselves, because just like everyone is being more open to divination tools. Your body is the OG original divination tool. So you are the medium literally as well. If you are interested in a reading today, Usually what I do, and I really just get a feel for the energy, I will do a grounding just to ground the energy and help raise the vibration, makes it easier to connect. And then I jump into readings. I do it a little fun. I'd like to keep it fun and fresh because when I started my own psychic development, I did not do it to become a psychic. I did it because I was going through a dark time, like most people on their spiritual awakening, and I was looking for self-care tools. So I knew from talking to a friend that took a psychic development workshop or course, I think hers was several weeks long, that psychic development is grounding, meditation, and raising your vibration. So at the time, which was 2019, I could not Google to my satisfaction. So I found a workshop, I took it to learn meditation, raising your vibration, and grounding as a form of self-care. So I wasn't there to learn how to do readings, but I do believe that anyone can do it. Me being the person that I was when I started, which was hella scared, hella logical, and hella skeptical. So I think anyone can do it. And that's why I do readings the way that I do. If you would like a reading, think of your intention and then drop me an emoji. And I do this to show people what is possible, what is available to them, because everything that I'm doing here, you can do too. I have 100% full faith in you. So, yeah, that's me. If you guys want to take a second, think about what it is that you may want guidance on. Guidance on to connect with a loved one, anything really. Think of it. And as you're thinking of it, just let yourself fully connect with whatever that intention is. And then drop me an emoji when you're ready. And I let Spirit guide me to who to pick the emojis to read from. And I'm just going to wipe my camera really quick. I hope that makes it a little bit clearer. So, let's see here. All right. Today seems like a Twitch kind of day. So, Russian Party Girl and Sunny Ileana. I'm going to get to both of you actually. So, stick around. I'm going to read for both of you. And let's see here. I just need to open up my Facebook chat because, oh, hey there, Winnie. Thanks for joining. Okay. And actually, give me a second. I'm going to pull my cards. So I'm actually broadcasting from my office, and my partner he works from home half the time, and there was no power where he usually works from when he works from home. So he was working out of my office, and that is why I have this lovely blue wagon in the background. Okay. I am going to use my cards to support me today because I feel so drained. Isn't it funny how the sun is so energizing, but you have to do it in small doses because otherwise it's overpowering, which is a great analogy because I feel like that's just power in general. Okay. Hi, Nadia. Thanks so much for joining. Okay, let me just drop this in the comments real quick. Okay. I'm going with Sunny Ileana first. So I'm going to read your emoji, and then I'm going to Russian Party Girl next. So if you guys want a reading, if you've just joined, just think about your intention and then drop it in the comments. I'm sorry, don't drop your intention in the comments, drop the emoji in the comments. Okay, so for Sunny Ileana, the first thing I actually see like this blonde character. It looks like it's at a sea bluff, or no, it looks like rocks, like a beach with rocks, and this blonde character, a female character, is sitting on a rock at the water. It really reminds me of Ariel from The Little Mermaid when she becomes human and she has legs, because the way this blonde character is sitting there, she's just sitting on the rock and like kicking her legs in the air, and it feels really playful, but it also feels like childlike excitement over having the legs. I asked the question if this blonde character is supposed to be you, and it doesn't. I get a no. If it's like I see someone there in this image that I'm getting, but then they're also like they're navigating, almost like moderating what I'm receiving, and they're pointing at the woman. She has really long blonde hair. It reminds me of Ariel again, except her hair is blonde and then her hair is curly. And it actually literally looks like Ariel from The Little Mermaid, because she wraps that linen around her and ties it with rope. And that's what it looks like. And it's like even distinctly her face when she smiles, and it's extra expressive because at this point she doesn't have a voice anymore, but she just has this blonde curly hair. I feel like because whoever this energy is that is in the picture that I'm seeing is saying like that's not you. So it feels like you're playing this part of voiceless, and I connect the voice to aligned action. So throat chakra energy is to me not just how are you speaking your truth, but how are you acting on it? How are you aligned, taking action on it? And I'm just going to put my phone on silent. Okay. So when I see that, and I feel like I get the impression that you are blonde, and they say yes, and so that's why I see this Ariel character and she's blonde. It's like you are playing this character, but that's not you. So who are you really? Let me make space for myself here. So who are you really? I'm getting the feeling that there's like bypassing happening, and it feels like what it is that there's a dark side that you're not appreciating. And when I talk to people about shadow work, I often hear people are often thinking like shadow work is like the part of you that you don't like, but shadow work is just the totality of you, appreciating the totality of you, because shadow work is not a separate side of you. It's simply you. And so when people think of shadow work, they're like, well, that's like the bad side of me. And it's like, no, it's just the side of you. And shadow work serves the purpose of having, of like bringing light to every part of you, so you understand all perspectives, because everyone is a very nuanced type of person. Everyone is nuanced. Like you have many sides of you. Like when I call myself a multi-dimensional medium, everyone is multi-dimensional. And so just like you're multi-dimensional. So to embrace the shadow side of you, like the dark side of you, does not make you a bad person, or does not mean that you're any less than of anything. but it allows you to be more human. I like to think of shadows like your deep, deep emotions, because this character that I see by the water, and this makes a lot of sense because water is all about emotions and relationships, but this character that's sitting by the water, it feels like she's putting on a happy face and she's playing a character, but it's not real. Like people that are, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So people that are putting on a happy face all the time, they're just masking what they're really feeling. It's inauthentic. And so what it feels like is that, like, it also feels exhausting to be doing that all the time, to put on the happy face and play this character all the time. So it feels like you could sustain your energy, that you could actually re-energize yourself if you honor honor your truth and come into full authenticity. And that happens through giving attention and creating a relationship with those dark parts. Um, it's interesting because the way they show your guides, the way they're showing me this is that when I ask, well, who are you really? And they show me Ursula, but it doesn't feel like you're um, trying to turn people into like kelp people. It just feels like there's that shadow side. It also feels like, because going back to the legs kicking in the air, I feel like it keeps bringing attention back to that. And what it feels like is the word responsibility comes up, but it doesn't feel like responsibility as if you're not taking like you're irresponsible. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like owning, I mean, in a way, ownership and responsibility are very similar. But what this feels like is you know a lot more than you let on, and that you play down your intelligence or what your consciousness or awareness is. And that's what the kicking of the legs feels like that childlike excitement. Is like you're acting excited over this very simple thing. And it's not in the way that's like you have joy and you are like genuinely excited. It doesn't feel, that excitement doesn't feel genuine. But it's just that it feels like you're doing it because you're coming down to other people's levels. Like you're normally up here, like that would not impress you, but you're doing it to fit in, is what it feels like. Yes. This Ariel character is like, yes, that's exactly what they did. Now, I feel like there is a theme here of relationships and emotions, because it's by the water. We're talking about Little Mermaid. I'm asking if there's anything else, and they show me a seal. So, so the seal they show me is within the same scene, but it's like at a distance. So it feels like we're transitioning to a different message, or it's related, but it's also on its own. And the seal, when I think of seals, I think of these really cute animals, and they're so cool looking, and they bark like dogs, and it's like, oh, how cute. But when I see the seal, it actually reminds me of the seal from Penguins of Madagascar. I see a lot of things in cartoons, and that's because I grew up on cartoons. I continue to watch a lot of cartoons because I spend a lot of time with my kids. Of course, I spend a lot of time with my kids, but I spend a lot of my time watching TV with my kids, which means I watch what they watch. And I'm thinking of this scene that is at the beginning of Penguins of Madagascar, and you see the seals, and they're really quite vicious. So when I see the seal, like I see it, but I see the blonde Ariel character at a distance, and it feels like this is almost like your perspective. That's interesting because it feels like it's your perspective of that character. Like you do it, you don't even like being that person, that it kind of kills you on the inside to be that person. And really that stems from knowing who you really are, and then having to be someone else around everyone else. And let's see here. So the angry seal, it's like I'm watching this story play out, and the angry seal walks over to the Ariel character and just like, it's like it takes its mouth and it rips this character out of the page. And now there's just like a blank hole in the scene. So if you needed permission to let go of that character, that programming, that story, to just be yourself, it feels like this is the validation that could be your initiation. So I'm going to pull a card for you. And I am using the Labyrinthos Golden Thread Tarot card. Whoa. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So the card that I pulled for you is the Death card. Hope you can see that okay. I think StreamYard does not mirror, so it's probably backwards anyways. Yeah, it doesn't mirror. The Death card reverse. So it feels like this change has been waiting to happen. And this change feels very aligned for you, but it feels like the fear of consequence and the fear of change, which is like, but that's why it's happening. It's for change, is what holds you back. So it feels like allowing the change to happen and allowing the full release and the detox that happens with it, because this is part of what you've been asking for. Let's see. Okay. So just looking at the card, it just feels like part of the reason why you're holding back on this change is it feels like you are afraid you won't be able to stand. I feel like it's this idea of like having the rug pulled out from underneath you, but you can have it as, you can set the intention for it to happen as quickly or as slowly as you want, because this is your life, this is your energy, and you get to dictate the terms of how your energy works. So if the fear comes from the change happening too rapidly, call in your sovereignty and state out loud that you're open to this change so long as it is paced and fully integrated. I hope that makes sense. Paced and fully integrated, because one of my mentors mentioned to me, or said in a training, that she is part of the slow healing movement, because there are all these people out there that market their programs to be like, let's get this done really quick and you'll be fully healed. And it's like, you're never fully healed. What happens is that you're given the tools to manage those situations that trigger you better, so that you're not, so that you know that you have it under control. So know that you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like, and that all you have to do is state your terms of engagement. Okay, I am getting that is it. So thank you so much, Sunny Ileana. I'm just clearing my energy. And I do these so that you guys can share how the reading resonates for you. So please share in the comments. And then hopefully someone watches it, or hopefully someone will read your comments, and then feel inspired to get a little closer to their own divinity. So Russian party girl, you're next. I like that emoji. That's pretty funny. It looks like Twitch has different emojis than everything else. I'm on Twitch. I don't really know what I'm doing on Twitch. It's another channel to broadcast to. If anyone has any suggestions or insight to maximize my outreach on Twitch, I'm always open. Okay, so Russian party girl. Okay, I am seeing a dark night scene, lights. It feels like there's a bridge. It feels like there's a really fancy car rolling through. Okay. Thank you, because this is an interesting. I was like, oh, I wonder how this. She must be like a well-traveled Russian. But what I really see here is it feels like a scene out of Black Panther, the movie, and I hear the theme song. And I don't know that it's actually the theme song, but it's off the soundtrack, and it's a song with The Weeknd, Kendrick Lamar, and SZA, and that it's like the drum sound that goes doot 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 doot, and what I see is the dark night light, dark night. This car is rolling through this bridge, and I hear that. So I think that what this scene is actually from in the movie is like I get like Tokyo or Macau vibes, because there are a lot of city lights. It's really dark, but it's a really metropolitan area. And wait, I just want to drop this in there. Okay, so I get these metropolitan city vibes, and it feels like Tokyo, Macau. And in the movie, it's a scene in Seoul where they go to some underground gambling operation. I don't feel like we're actually going to an underground gambling operation, but it feels like this very lively nightlife kind of vibe. And I actually get like K-pop star with the Ariana Grande ponytail extensions kind of vibe. Like, it is glamorous. It is dark. It is it doesn't even feel like necessarily high energy, but it just feels like y'all go all night long. And so let's see here. Okay, so it does feel like wherever they go, I feel like I'm seeing a tall ass K-pop girl, and she just enters this scene like she enters the scene like a boss, and she's just throwing shit down, just like throwing sex money down and just like calling the shots. And let's see here. I'm just going to clear that for a second. Okay, so it's still this K-pop star, but it feels, now I get this clearer image, like this is a very glamorous and empowered and like glamorous and empowered. I want to say independent, but it also feels like a very, I think I already said this, boss, but like very like boss lady type energy. So let me see what else this has, where else this is going. So it feels like her boss energy is coming from her feminine energy. So when I see this woman and she has like a very she walks like she's on a catwalk. She dresses very glamorous, but she's also dressed like a Vegas showgirl. And it's this, she embraces her femininity. She's not afraid of her sexuality. And, but that's also part of why she is so successful. It feels like she is in charge of these really fancy establishments that she's walking through. And it all comes from her not being afraid to be like this really feminine woman, like this, like, again, embracing the feminine energy within her. I feel like there could be a misunderstanding of her like using her sexuality or her using her sexuality to get her way or to get ahead. But it doesn't feel like she is sleeping around or anything like that. It just feels like she's not afraid to. I feel like, okay, so I mentioned Ariana Grande, and it feels like Ariana Grande vibes, and like she's not afraid to dress the way that she dresses, but it also doesn't mean that she's a hoe. And it's not to slut shame, but it's just like that has nothing to do with her business style. That's just how she dresses. And I resonate with that because I remember when I used to work in corporate America, I worked in a department where we didn't have a dress code. Well, we didn't have to wear like a business suits or anything because we were phone based. And I had made a comment to my boss about how I feel like maybe I should be dressing a certain way. And she's like, I don't care as long as you get the job done. And that's really what it is. It's like you can be yourself and it doesn't matter how you dress and how you act because you get the job done. Okay, that's where it was. Sorry, I was getting distracted. I will come back to you, Sunny Ileana, and I'll give you that clarity. Let's see. I'm going to pull a card for you now, Russian Party Girl. So I'm going to be making some changes to how I do my readings, and I'm going to bring on a moderator, and so I won't get distracted like this in the middle of other people's readings. So I currently have an assistant that transcribes my voice notes, and I told her, you know what, I can type it out. I think what I really need help with is on my live events. So okay, I actually pulled 3 cards for you. The first one is the Sun. So again, just being in your full energy, and how fitting because I was talking about how the Sun is so freaking draining. But it feels like you're able to be as successful as you are, or just to like be the boss that you are, because you are able to hold and sustain your own power. And that's really important because a lot of people are scared of what their full potential is, but it feels like you are grounded in who you are, which is how you're able to hold all of that. So someone like, to have celebrity, to have that much exposure, to have that much responsibility for what the kind of person that I'm seeing in these images, it feels like that takes a lot of someone who's very grounded, because it's easy for your energy to get swayed and influenced and distracted, kind of like I did, when you're not firmly grounded in who you are, to hold the full potential of your energy. The next card is the Queen of Wands reverse. So the Queen of Wands reverse is so the Queen of Wands is all about that feminine energy again, and being able to really be like the behind the scenes leader of your passion. It's because when you think of the front full picture leader, you think about the manager or the CEO, and it's the person who is okay. So I feel like this is going to start making more sense for you too. It's the person that is out there telling everyone what to do, very like order giver. But the Queen of Wands is the behind the scenes who works through emotions and through relationships, through the nurturing, through the soft side, through the intuition. And Wands is also all about intuition. Because this is reverse, what it feels like is the Queen of Wands reverse actually feels like a mask. It feels like a mask of so when any card is reversed, it just feels like the energy is blocked, that somehow it's not at its full potential, it's not fully expressed, and it's not expressed with balance. And so when I see a card that's in reverse, I'm just thinking, okay, what is out of balance here? So the Queen of Wands, it feels like it's the merging of your identity with what your passion is. And drop me a comment if that makes sense, because sometimes people think that they can't be themselves. They can't be themselves in every part of their life. Like, you may have your work persona, and then you have your persona with your family, and then your persona with your friends. And it feels like the Queen of Wands is reversed because it feels like being the queen is a mask, and it's not who you feel like you can't authentically be yourself. But the truth is that when the Queen of Wands is turned around and it is who you are, that comes from you being your whole self. And it feels like whatever this industry is, whatever it is that you are passionate about, you thrive because that is such a wonderful match with your energy. And so if you feel like you have to be a certain way because that is what you see, you feel like you need to be what you're already seeing within this space, that's like, you're not trying to go in there and be like everyone else. You're trying to go in there and be yourself. And that's how you thrive. That's how you set yourself apart. Because in a world where everyone is trying to mimic one another, we don't need another clone. And so that's why being yourself, the sun, is really where it's at. And then the last card is the Four of Swords. Four of Swords. And four is all about stability, and swords are about knowledge and intellect. So, wisdom. Let's talk wisdom. So, this card in particular is about like how you sleep on it, to find stability, to be firmly rooted and have a the word clean relationship is coming up with what it is that you're thinking about. So it feels like what you're thinking about is the Queen of Wands reverse and the Mask. And so it feels like this is something that you've been contemplating, but to allow yourself to sleep on it, to clear your mind. And what basically happens at night is like, so during the day, you're drawing in other people's energy throughout your day, and that is merging with your energy and influencing all the things that you do. So by the end of the day, that's probably the worst time to make your decision, because now you're carrying all this energy from all these different people. And so the best thing that you can do is actually sleep on it, let your mind clear, and then the first thing that you think of in the morning, let that be where your decision is anchored, because that is your freshest energy and your most clearest, unattached decision. I know in traditional Chinese medicine, that is a recommendation when you have, I forget what it is, but it's either liver or gallbladder issues. Like when you are having a hard time making a decision and you're really stuck on something, they always say sleep on it, and then whatever you come up with in the morning when you are refreshed, let that be where your decision lies. So that's what it feels like. I'm also getting that that's the end of your reading. So Russian Party Girl, thank you so much for letting me read for you. I'm just going to clear my energy from you. Okay, so I was going to start shuffling my cards to clear, but then this card came out by itself, and it is the Nine of Wands. So it feels very much like that Queen of Wands card that's reversed. It feels like if you give yourself a chance to sleep on this, you're going to find completion in your passion. So this Queen of Wands, this mask, it feels like you can finally let it go and that it'll be done. So I hope this is helpful for you. Please share in the comments how it resonates, and I'll just clear. Okay, so I'm going to jump to Sunny Ileana. So thanks for the reading. I'm still not really understanding something. I don't see myself as personal, and I thought I was being authentic the way that I am being. But behind closed doors, I'm dealing with a lot mentally, but I don't want to hurt others. Okay, and then there's very confused, and can you have clarity? I don't see you as Ursula either. Actually, the Ursula really makes me feel like it's just shadow, and the shadow sounds like it's what you're dealing with behind closed doors, and that's actually what a lot of people will describe shadow work as. It's like the skeletons in your closet. It's what's hidden. So it's not about you being Ursula. It's more about you tending to your shadow work and not feeling any sort of shame or guilt, or even feeling like you are okay, they want me to stop at shame and guilt. Not feeling any shame or guilt for what you're feeling behind closed doors. And the idea is that you can be yourself fully, including what you've hidden behind closed doors, with anyone. Because that's real. That's what intimacy is allowing yourself to be vulnerable and letting people connect with all of the different parts of you. So in terms of, I'm trying to remember what I said in your reading. So in terms of being this happy-go-lucky person and feeling like you have to be this happy person all the time, it's allowing yourself to be more of the person that you are behind closed doors as well. And that is when you actually start to heal that person that you are behind closed doors, because you're bringing awareness, and you're shedding light on those energies, on those feelings, on whatever it is that you're hiding behind closed doors. When that happens, that person that's like happy-go-lucky all the time, it becomes a more authentic expression. Because are you really happy all the time? Because if you are happy all the time, then why is there this part that's hidden behind closed doors? So again, Ursula doesn't mean you're actually Ursula. It represents the shadow side. So I think that Spirit was just sticking with the theme of Little Mermaid and water, but it feels very much, it has to do with relationships and dealing with your emotions. So I hope that clarifies it for you. And don't know how to express it. You don't know how to express your emotions. I feel you on that so much, because when I started my psychic development journey, I was exactly like that, where I was always happy and agreeable and very I would describe myself as, and I don't know if this is how you are, but I was really great at following orders. I was a great order taker. I was a people pleaser. And I remember when I took a course and they talked about shadow work, and I was like, I don't have shadow work. Nothing bothers me. I am happy all the time. And then we talked about the Ho'oponopono prayer, and it is a Native Hawaiian practice of forgiveness. And it's a very simple prayer, and I forget what order it's in. And you could Google it. Actually, let me see if I can find it to share with you, because I actually recommend this to my students. But we learned this prayer, and it's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And I sat with this prayer and meditation one day thinking, like, I have nothing to feel, I have nothing to heal, because I feel great, I feel fine. And in that moment when I said the prayer, I just started crying really hard. And I realized, I didn't realize all the things that were wrong, but I realized that I felt like I had no shadow work because I've been living in the shadows for so long. So I'm going to drop this in the comments. So if you are interested in looking it up, I highly recommend. And something that I tell my students is to use this prayer, sit with this prayer and meditation, and give yourself time, because it really is like a long unraveling, because depending on what your story is and what your relationship with your shadow is, because it could be over a period of a week, 2 weeks, a couple of days, in which you start to realize what your shadow work really is, and you just have this full awareness of it. And it's the healing starts with that awareness. So, and just to share kind of like how this prayer works, it's, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. So regardless of who you think is at fault, saying sorry is like allowing it to move on. So whatever pain and shadow you had, you are death gripping it, and death gripping it in a way that you will not allow yourself to feel it, regardless of what the reason is. So apologizing, whether it be for yourself or to someone else or whatever, you're giving the permission slip to let go. Like, it's okay to let go now. You say thank you, because everything happens for a reason. Everything has a purpose. And so you have gratitude for whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that you're holding on to. And so that is part of the process of releasing it. And then I love you, because It's part of the gratitude. And energetically, what's happening is you're starting to let go and release it so that it can move on and go on as it was. Because when you feel emotions, it is your energy already off gassing. Like whatever happened has already happened, and your emotions are like the tail of the comet being let out. So your emotions have whatever it's tied to has already happened. And so there's no point in holding it in. Just let it out. And then it's creating a void so they can allow new energy in. I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys understand that. If you don't understand, feel free to let me know and I'm happy to explain. Thank you. I am really glad that helped you. Some other ways that you can look into. So I work with a lot of people that are just like you and I, that have a hard time expressing your emotions. And it could be because you never had a role model in your life to model like what a healthy release or healthy relationship with your emotions would look like. But whatever the reason, there are lots of ways that you can work with it. So definitely start with that prayer. It's so easy and so accessible, and it may be all you need. But you can also look into hypnosis. So I do past life regressions and I've helped people with that. You can also look into breath work. If you've never tried breath work before, you may want to find a practitioner that will do it with you in person, because it will open and release a lot of stored emotions, and we store emotions in our body. So if you look into breathwork, that one was a really helpful one for me after I had done the Ho'oponopono prayer. And I think I tried it maybe like 6 to 8 months after I did that prayer. Breathwork was like, it was like decalcifying all the emotions that I had stored in my body. And it could be pretty intense because you're releasing so much in breath work, especially breath works that are intended to help you release emotions. You can have a lot of muscle cramps. It's not painful. It's just very different if it's your first time. So if you need any more resources, I'm happy to share them with you. But thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate you. I'm going to pull a card for the collective. So this card is going to be good for anyone. And if you were watching and someone else's reading resonated with you, I do these with intention. So meanwhile, while I am reading people individually, I always have the intention that this is going to serve everyone, to serve the highest good for everyone, and that what comes through for one is going to resonate for others as well. So it's kind of like streamlining spiritual healing, streamlining spiritual wisdom shared. Here we go. So this last card is for the collective. And I do this on top of individual readings because what happens in the collective is actually a reflection of what's going on with us on an individual level. Like there could be a structure of, what experience we're having. And then there are these unique energy signatures within that are specific to us. And that's how we get our unique experiences. But there is a common thread that runs through all of us, and we're experiencing it. So here we go. I'm going to do, I feel like 3 cards. It feels like a 3-card draw. Okay. 3 cards. First card is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. All of these cards are reversed. So it feels like this is collective energy where we are holding ourselves back. So as I talk about this, and I'm like, this is collective energy that we're all kind of going through. It's also an invitation, like how, knowing that we're all going through this together, how can you be more compassionate to other people, knowing that this is their struggle too, or this is their experience as well? How can you lend a helping hand? How can you be a good neighbor? But Queen of Pentacles. All right. So Queen of Pentacles reversed. Queen again is about the behind the scenes ruler and how they work through their relationships and nurturing. And Queen of Pentacles is about money. Commonly it's about money, but it's also about physical consciousness, like material consciousness. It's about the land, the things that you buy with money. It's about, how you make money. This is about 3D human problems, human subjects, because not everything is a problem. Depends on how you look at it. But the Queen of Pentacles is this amazing nurturer, and how they're wildly abundant because of how they nurture and how they cultivate. So I'm going to go through all of these because it makes more sense when I tell them all together. So 7 of Swords reverse is the second card. And 7 of Swords is about betrayal, knowledge, betrayal, how you think you know, but then it's like, but do you really know? And the last card is the Ace of Swords. So new beginnings, getting started with Okay, interesting. So I lost power in my office, and got kicked out for a second, but I want to finish this collective reading. That was crazy. I thought that was weird. I heard the power went out and then I couldn't get back on. Okay, so getting back into this. Queen of Pentacles reversed, 7 of Swords reversed, and Ace of Swords reversed. So what I feel like is happening here is okay. So it feels like this Queen of Pentacles card, this Queen of Pentacles energy of being the cultivator, the nurturer, being wildly abundant because of how well you nurture relationships and cultivate them. It feels like it's being held back. And it feels like this betrayal, the 7 of Swords betrayal, is actually coming from not, like, you're not being honest with you, the collective, people in the collective are not being honest with themselves. And everyone just kind of trying to fake the funk. And it's like they're trying to stand their ground, like being so firm in what they're believing in, whether or not that's really how things should be. And so where we could be moving on and creating a new beginning, um, and a new way of thought, it's like we're trying to ground even further in this limiting belief is what's happening. And I say limiting belief because it's like I'm hearing scarcity mindset, and scarcity mindset is so general. But I also feel like this is a huge theme in the collective as well, because I see, scarcity mindset is why the patriarchy exists. It's why capitalism exists. It's this whole idea that there's not enough to go around, as if you need to have everything. Like the idea of a mega corporation, like major banks, um, like international banks, like Walmart's, like department stores, like Amazon. The idea that we need to have these mega corporations, that we need to globalize in the sense that we have a presence in every country and that we're trying to gain customers in every country, is like, no, you don't need to do that. Actually, like, why do you need to do that? Why is that so desirable to you? And it feels like that is perfectionism and people pleasing on a whole new level. Mega corporations say that they want to be on every continent and they want to be like the most loved company or the most loved supplier of whatever their industry is, in the whole wide world. And it's like, why? Why do you need to be that? I feel like the energy is moving towards a more localized economy, and not just in the sense that people are shopping from vendors in their community, but that the but people are looking to shop from people. When we think of these mega corporations, it's like it's such a faceless company. Yeah, you know who the CEO is, and half the time they're not someone like you'd want to hang out with. And it's like, why would I want to invest more energy and resources into that person? And then you think about it and it's like, oh, it's because of the people that are running it. I mean, those are still people. The thing is, when you think of it that way, you're promoting the way that those people are treated. And depending on the company, they're not always treated with the most respect. They're not always taken care of. I mean, companies like Amazon, yeah, they give them benefits, but they also purposefully keep them at part-time so that they don't have to give them benefits. And it's like, okay, so then are they really taking care of their people? So I feel like that's where it's going to. Um, I also feel like for people that are, working for someone else, working for a mega corporation, I feel like because the energy is shifting to, um, this localized sense of economy in which there are going to be a lot more companies out there in the economy, and that, there are going to be a lot more business owners. It's because a lot more people are being called to share their passion, and that is more magnetic than a inexpensive price tag. And that's just the truth. Like, you can buy cheap stuff all day and it's going to break for you. It's going to break on you all day long. But when someone creates something with so much love, intention, and passion, you feel that. That's what's really magnetic. Like, yeah, anyone can make a cheap product. And when you see a lot of the same cheap product, it's because one person's making it and everyone is buying it and relabeling it as their own. So anyone can literally do that. Like, I'm thinking about this in the sense, like, my partner is talking about drop shipping, and I'm like, yeah, anyone can do that. So it's not going to be sustainable, because when everyone starts doing it, we're going back to the idea that in a world where everyone's trying to copy each other, we don't need more clones. And so something's going to happen with that. It's not going to be sustainable. And then you're going to be back to where you were before you just started drop shipping. I love my partner. He's the best and he is the sweetest and he loves me so much. And I haven't told him this because he needs to figure it out on his own. He has a strong desire to have an entrepreneurial journey. And I think that's wonderful. So I'm not going to shit on his dreams. I'm going to let him try it out and figure out what works for him. Because who knows, maybe he really likes retail. And then he finds a different avenue for his retail. So that's what it is. Okay. Thank you so much for sticking around. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next month. If you want, you can catch me in 2 weeks on Instagram Live. Bye-bye.